go. And we're off. And we're off. Oh, there's a boat coming. Better watch it. I had a feeling this morning when I came out that a boat would come. A little behold, one's came. Whew. Morning, mate. Chopping it up. Ah, what a morning. What a morning, eh? Whoa, 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 whoa. Thinking about taking this out on the river soon. I'm just getting used to, still getting used to, you know, actually using it. But I think the river is where it's at, to be honest. At least it's a little bit more of a wild experience rather than coming down the canal. But you know, this is still nice for a little relaxing morning. Get the blood flowing in the shoulders and in the back and in the arms. It was only about 6 months ago where I last used substances, you know, and I would have been on a Saturday morning absolutely page 2,000, 3,000 deep on Pornhub. Trying to find the last little bits of cocaine that he had. Smoking cigarettes, calling my mate Josh to try and get some weed. You know, and we all have a choice. We can all do what we want to do with our life. I think I'd much rather be at peace in the wild now and focusing on developing myself, developing my life, and, you know, moving towards something that's actually going to fulfill my spirit, fulfill my soul, whatever label you want to use for it. You know, and we've got to figure out what it is that we enjoy doing. You know, and I've never kayaked before. You know, so I thought, oh, I've had a dinghy. I've come down the canal on a dinghy, and a 5-man dinghy and a 2-man dinghy with, you know, beers and weed and things like that when I used to drink and smoke, but you know, never a kayak. So I thought I'll purchase one. Thanks to Michael, if you're watching this, mate. You know, great guy. Went and purchased the kayak off him, and, you know, had a nice long chat. He told me, you know, the ins and outs about kayaking and his experiences in life, what he does now and why he doesn't so much kayak anymore. Great guy, lovely man. It was interesting, the story that he told me about being on the water, and he had an experience where he drowned, you know, and he said as he went under, he saw these like figures, or these people that were trying to, well, basically people underwater, and then he got pulled out and he came back around again. So he's had like a death experience, which I thought was interesting, because my father, when I was like, I think when he said I was about 2 years old, 2 years of age, I was in a canoe with him and my brother, and we was oared up, and I think my dad said he was going for a piss in the bushes, and I'd fell in and I'd sunk to the bottom in my nappy, and my leg got caught on a you know, a bit of, you know, something like on the side here, so, or in the mud or whatever. I don't know, like the story he actually said, because he's not around to no longer tell me it again. So I'm kind of going based off what I'd heard as I grew up. But yeah, then he pulled me out, saved me from drowning, and I pooed down his leg on the way home. So it's you know, it was a bit of an interesting experience to hear when I went and collected this, that someone else that is also been on the water had also, you know, had a drowning experience. But, you know, it kind of, I suppose it goes hand in hand if you're not careful. But that's what life's about, you know. If you want to do something that is, you know, most people probably wouldn't dare do, then, you know, I guess you just got to become more aware and be more safe when it comes to the water. And after all, no matter how beautiful it is, and no matter how relaxing it is when we have the option to come out on the water, whether it be a lake, a river, the sea, whatever it may be, it's important to stay safe, be aware. That's what life is about, awareness, right? Perception. What a morning for it, to be honest. I checked the weather and I thought, it's probably going to be a little bit clouded over, but it is cloudy. parts of the sky are cloudy, but the sun is beaming, and I've literally got to get out because I'm down near the I'm down near the lock, so I've got to somehow manage to get out without, unless I turn back around. Yeah, I'll probably turn back around, to be fair. Today come far enough already. Got a little bit of sunshine. Life is only as good as you make it, really, isn't it? You know, if you are in a situation where you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling like you're going nowhere in life, I've been there. We've all probably been there. You know, or at least we'll be there at some point, because we all go through similar emotions, similar feelings, similar situations in life. We might lose a loved one, we might break a leg, we might, you know, have a house fire, all these situations. We might lose a job. But if you lose your sense of who you are, which is love, which is awareness, which is consciousness, then you will allow it to consume you. You will allow emotions and situations to consume you. And when I mean consume you, I don't mean that you can't not feel them. I mean, allow them to destroy you. Allow them to dictate what kind of situations you put yourself into. Because we all can go through a similar situation in life, and one person can deal with it in a completely different way to the other. It just depends on how aware that person is of how they feel and what they're actually doing with themselves. That's all it takes. That's all it takes to change, really. But it is a long process. It can be a long process. You know, it doesn't happen just overnight. You have to actually do the inner work, the shadow work. Shine the light on the aspects of yourself. Shine the light and love on the aspects of yourself that you're suppressing, basically. And if you can't do that yourself, there's people there that can guide you to do it. You know, this is what the internet's for. Well, it's for more than that, obviously, but it's a savior, basically. It's if you have access to the internet, there's not any reason in the world why you can't start living a better life and see people that are actually living a life that is a kind of life that you would like to live. The only thing that's stopping you is the fact that those thoughts are getting to you to the point where you don't actually want to move towards making a change for yourself. Most people would rather be stuck in distraction, or go down to the pub and destroy themselves, or sniff drugs, whatever it may be. Like, you know, all these vices that we have of escapism, to escape the thing that it is that we really are, to be able to sit in silence and observe the thoughts and the emotions that we have, is one of the most crucial things that you'll ever do if you want to actually thrive in life. And I'm not saying this isn't in any way that this is what we have to do, because we all have our own choices. So, you know, I'm just saying that there's ways. I'd say the only way out is through going within, right? You're not gonna get out of the situation that you're in, the psychological situation that you're in, if you're seeking it externally. Yes, there'll be things that can point you to look internally, but no amount of pleasure, no amount of satisfaction from food, from drugs, from sex, from porn, from TV is going to make you feel whole. It's going to make you feel fulfilled. It might help for the brief moment that it does, but dopamine, overly indulging in the hit of dopamine, the feel-good chemical, the reward chemical that you get that's released in your brain, is you'll get depleted from it. And I've been there again and again and again with cocaine and porn sessions, like just, you know, absolutely depleted of dopamine, feeling like I'm depressed, feeling like I'm miserable, although I kept bouncing back every single time. Strange how this part of the canal has got like a little bit of like a mossy, it's got like a mossy colour to the top of it, like some oil's been dropped in or something, some spillage. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but alright, it's starting to get a little bit choppy. Can't imagine what it's like to get on the whoa. Can't imagine what it's like to get on like fast moving water in one of these. Never mind slow, because it is a knackering sport, if you can call it that. I'd say it's just more of a, well, I suppose you could call it a sport, couldn't you? People do it competitively, so. But for me, it's just a way of, it's a meditation. This is a meditation for me. Whew. Is that boat gone? Yes. Morning. We're coming into land. Oh shit, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. Oh, 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 oh. Whew. So, that's a little morning kayak. I'm about to get out. Got to get this skirt thing off. That's keeping the water from getting into the kayak. So, ciao.